Hello, it is 12 o'clock, Wednesday again, and again we are here with our webinars about different European countries. What are we going to do today? Today we are going to talk about traveling, but not traveling by train or by bus. We are going to talk about virtual traveling. With most of Europe homebound, we have to think, to reflect, what does it mean to travel? And also to take this opportunity to travel, but without physical travel. That's why we invited today 3 guests from different parts of Europe. Today we have Victor from the United Kingdom. Hi, Victor. We have Anna from Zadar, Croatia. And we also have Gintare, that is from the northern part of Europe, from Lithuania. They will tell you about local destinations, their favorite place in their countries. And I hope that whenever we have time to travel, physically travel, we can visit them. Then let's start. And the first local destination will be the north of the UK, the northern part of the country, and Victor will tell us about it. Victor, if you unmute your microphone. All of us travel a lot, but my question to you: do you enjoy traveling, or do you do it just because of a necessity, let's say for work?
I love traveling. Traveling is just probably the most enriching thing that one can do, because you can read, you can watch documentaries, which is very inspiring, but feeling the new places and trying to understand the life of people there is just life transforming. And I have to say, this is a very interesting question. A few days ago, a partner company here, this young IT developer, he said, "Oh, I wish I could travel more, but I have never been anywhere except Gran Canaria." And I was shocked. And I thought, is there a reason or something? And he said, "Oh, well, no, just I don't have much time or money." But this is an excuse. I think you can always find a way with little money and little time to go somewhere. And I have my heart was broken for him, that he hasn't experienced other people, other cultures, other places and ways of living. And I think we should all do that, and it will help understand each other more and cooperate more, which is so desperately needed right now.
Yeah, agree with you. When you travel, you understand better people who live in other countries or people from other cultures, but you also understand you. You understand that you are not actually just from one country. You are cosmopolitan. You have peculiarities or features from different countries you have visited or you have lived. And that is what is very good now about European citizen.
Yes, I mean, I'm half Bulgarian and half Czech. Most of my schooling is French, and now I live in the UK. And when I'm asked, "Where are you from?" Well, it's impossible for me to say, because I just feel European, because all these parts are, they are part of me. For some things I will be more Czech, for some things I will be more Bulgarian. For my writing skills, I'm very French, very organized. And in my communication and interaction, I'm much more informal, like the British. And then what do you make of that? How do you put that in one box? You can't.
Yeah. let's put aside boxes and let's go directly to the UK, because I'm looking forward to listening to your presentation. I saw some slides that you are going to present today, and actually this is a fantastic place, and tell us about it more. Perhaps one day, I hope it will be not in 10 years, one day soon, we will be able to visit there, to go there.
Yes. Well, as you know, the United Kingdom is composed of 4 countries. The biggest one, England, and then there is Wales, there is Scotland, and there is the north of Ireland. So we are going to talk about England, but not all England, but just the north of England, because everybody knows London, and the more touristy destinations which are in the south, which are closer to Europe and easy to get to. But I want to draw everyone's attention to the north of England, where time flows differently, and we have time to appreciate the beauty and the history of the place. So if you look on the map, which is here, everything which is north of Manchester and Liverpool, that is considered the north of England. The biggest city probably is Newcastle, that you can see. And there is also a lot of rural areas like Yorkshire and Lancashire. And these rural areas are exactly what you imagine the stereotype of rural England, like Downton Abbey style and all that. And you can visit these stereotypes. So I'm just going to touch 3 different areas that you can explore. One is there's a lot of museums and open-air museums that you can visit, and you can feel not just the north of England, but the history of north of England. There are beautiful small market towns that have developed, and a little bit like Reus, actually. It's a lovely town with a beautiful center, and you find everything there, but it's not too big. You have all the shops and you have everything you need, but it's not overcrowded, and you can just walk around everywhere on foot, and it's just very pleasant, and there's a lot of lovely architecture. But also there is a lot of unspoiled nature, like the Yorkshire Dales and Moors, and the World Heritage Site, the UNESCO Heritage Site, the Lake District. So let's have a look at these. My absolutely favorite place in the north is called Beamish. It's the Living Museum of the North. And if you look at this little map, it's a former coal mine which has been transformed into several areas in different periods of time and different types of living. So there is an 1820s landscape with a Georgian farm and a depot with the very beginning of steam trains and steam locomotion. Then there is another area which is a 1900s town, which you can see in the top right corner. And then there is a pit village, so a village where miners would live, and there is the mine as well. And also there is a 1940s, so wartime farm. And you just go around these places. There are trams and buses, but you can also walk. And the most amazing thing is that everything is alive. There are people, mostly volunteers, sometimes staff, but a lot of volunteers, who go there, and for the day, they just become the people of that period, and they just do the things that normal people would do in those houses and shops in that time. So you can visit, I don't know, in the 1900s town, you can visit the piano teacher's house, where the servant is making cake on a real fire stove, and then when she's ready, you can taste the cake. And everything is just as if you were transported back in time. And when you leave Beamish at the end of the day, you go back to your own reality, and it's just mind-blowing how different things are, and you want to go back and enjoy this history. So if you have one single day to visit the north, go to Beamish, because it has all the history, the landscapes, and the people. The people in the north are said to be much more friendly than in London or in the south. People have much more the community spirit. So you will experience it here for sure. Oh, yep, there we are. Thank you, Julia. I found this little map of North Yorkshire, which shows you that there are two sort of hilly areas, mountainous areas. One is on the west side, the Yorkshire Dales. A dale is a valley, so hills and valleys. And on the east coast, there is the North York Moors, which is a national park. And the photo you can see in the bottom right corner is from there. And also historically, because all these areas produced a lot of wool and dairy products, and the early industry was here in the 18th century, these market towns developed. So in the photo on the top left corner, this is Richmond. This is where our company is based. There is a Norman castle from the 11th century, but also there is a lovely little town around the castle. At the bottom left, bottom left corner is York, with its famous York Minster, or cathedral to understand better. And this is what gave the name to New York, but this is the original York, which is a fantastic historical town with lots to do and see. Very good university as well. And also there are many little coastal towns and villages like Whitby, which you can see in the upper right corner. This is where Captain James Cook sailed from to discover different parts of the world, including Australia. So that's where the adventure started. There is a replica ship. So if you hire a car, I know driving in England is not very easy because it's on the other side, but once you are on the correct side, then it's easy to drive. Hire a car and just drive around. English people like to go for Sunday drives. So on Sunday, what do? You just get in your car and drive to some nice little villages and have a lunch somewhere. It's not very good for the carbon footprint, but it's most enjoyable. So let's see when we will be able to do that again. And the other most representative thing about the north of England and its wild nature is the Lake District. You may have heard of the Lake District. You have seen it many times in movies, and it's a mountainous areas with a lot of former glacial lakes. So it's very popular with hikers. You can walk everywhere and stay in different hostels and lovely B&Bs, go to pubs, and there's obviously a lot of sheep everywhere. And there is a very famous breed which is called the Herdwick sheep, with white heads and these, I think in the photo they're almost black, but usually they're very silver. They're gray silver fleece, and they're just lovely. And you can take little boats on the lakes, a little bit like in Como in Italy, but the lakes are not as big. And if you know Beatrix Potter, the author who wrote the stories and drew the pictures of Peter Rabbit, the rabbit with the blue coat, well, she was inspired for her stories by the Lake District, and she has a house there. And actually, she is the one who started buying farmland and to preserve the area. And this is how this whole national park was created, because of her effort to keep the landscape preserved and not destroyed by industry. So there are many places you can go in the north. Not everything is in London. If you enjoy beautiful landscapes, history, and very friendly people, lovely pubs and food, the north of England is definitely a place to come. And it's much cheaper than the south of England. I think that presents it in a very short story.
Yeah, Victor, beautiful photos, very nice story, and actually I feel like coming there. Okay, immediately, not exactly, but perhaps next spring we will be there. Very beautiful area, definitely friendly people like Victor. My question is, what is the closest airport to Beamish?
There are many airports. The best connections you will have to Manchester. This is the second biggest airport after the London airports. But there is a fairly good airport in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And also Leeds Bradford is quite popular. And then there are several smaller international airports where you usually get connections via Amsterdam or London. But you should find a lot of direct flights to Newcastle, Leeds, Bradford, and Manchester.
Yeah, I hope we'll find them when this outbreak, well, when we will pass the situation with coronavirus. Victor, thank you very much. Very inspiring story. I hope that not only me, but the rest of our listeners now feel inspired to come to your place. And definitely, if you have any questions, send them to our email address, that is info@.
I would be happy to recommend many places.
Wow, perfect, Victor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now what we are going to do, we are going to move. And we are going to move to the eastern part of Europe. We are going to move to Zadar. Anna, is it the correct pronunciation, Zadar, or how do you pronounce it?
It is Zadar.
Zadar.
Yes.
And that is Croatia.
Yes, Zadar is the city in the middle of the Adriatic coast in Croatia. It is really a beautiful city. And I must say, I will start my presentation by telling you that the city of Zadar was elected European Best Destination in 2016. And Zadar is the oldest continuously inhabited Croatian city. Probably the most beautiful part of the city is its old town that lies on a peninsula, and it is really fascinating to explore. You can see it now on the second photo. Julia, please go on. This is practically the old town of the city of Zadar. You can see it on the picture. It is a small peninsula, and it is full of old churches, old buildings, and so on. Really beautiful and really fascinating to explore. On the next picture, you can see that the whole old town is paved with gleaming white stones, and the whole town is made of the straight streets that were first laid out by the Romans. So Zadar is one of the oldest Roman cities in Croatia. Then, of course, I have to mention one of the most popular attraction in the city, which is surely the Greeting to the Sun, a monument which is dedicated to the sun. And then you can see it on this picture. And then on the next picture, you can see the sea organ. This is also one of the most popular attractions. It is an installation that looks like a series of broad steps which lead down into the sea. And the sea organ is very popular because it produces music, or better to say, it produces tunes using only the power of sea waves. So basically, when the sea waves come, they produce music. Of course, when we speak about Zadar, the last thing that I have to mention is a symbol of the city of Zadar. This is the church of Saint Donatus. You can see it on this picture. And it is this church is the most famous example of early medieval Croatian architecture, and it is one of the most unique churches in Europe. Due to its superb acoustics, it is also a very popular venue for music events. This is what I can say about Zadar. However, being this presentation about, let's say, less known local destination, I would like to continue with presenting you the hinterland of Zadar. If you want a vacation far from crowds, that is closely connected to the authentic experiences of this area, you have to walk its rural paths. You can see it on the next picture. These are some of the rural paths that you can visit in the Zadar region. And then, of course, if you go in the hinterlands, you can enjoy here historical stories. You can enjoy luxury villas, and of course, traditional gastronomy and favorite drinks that are globally renowned. I must say, here in Zadar region, in Zadar hinterland, you can fill your batteries the old-fashioned rustic way. On the next slide, I will start by presenting you some of the nature you can see in our region. I must say, if you prefer nature in the region of Zadar, you can visit 3 nature parks: Telaščica, Vrana Lake, and Velebit. They are all very well known for their variety and preservation and really unique beauty of nature. On this picture, you can see the nature park Velebit, which is famous for many things, and sometimes it is really difficult to decide which one is the ultimate number one. Basically, Velebit is a mountain, and From there, you can see from one side the sea, from the other side you can see the inland of Croatia. There are many paths you can explore. Really, it is Velebit has a captivating biodiversity, and for some people they like spooky speleology, and for some people they enjoy its wild geography. On the second picture, you can see Nature Park Telaščica. Telaščica is in the middle of the sea, and it is renowned for its steepest white cliffs and, of course, turquoise blue water, which you can see also on this picture. And Telaščica is, I must say, also renowned as being a place where dolphins like to hang out. If you come here, you can see many dolphins. Then on the next picture, you can see Nature Park Brana Lake, which is also known as the Lake of Birds. And Brana is an ornithological reserve for more than 250 bird species. And it is also one of the largest natural lake in entire Croatia. And on the next pictures, you can see one of the natural landscapes that I personally like best. This is Zrmanja River. Zrmanja Canyon is one of the most impressive canyons in Croatia and in Europe in general, and therefore it was protected as a significant landscape. You can see it on the picture, on the next pictures, and due to its, let's say, like fickle character, Zrmanja River and Zrmanja Canyon are often called Beauty and the Beast. On these pictures that I presented, I tried to present you, let's say, a wide variety of nature you can see in Zadar region. So we have sea, we have beautiful mountains, we have beautiful lakes, we have beautiful rivers. And let's say that to conclude this presentation, I must say that in Zadar region, going from deep to high, on every step you can find nature that will amaze your senses, whether it is the crystal blue sea or the raw mountain massif. And it is also, of course, full of historical landmarks, natural beauty, gastronomy specialties, and to conclude, I have to say that there is only one thing left to say. Do come to Zadar, do come to Zadar region. You are warmly welcome.
Anna, thank you very much. You don't have to welcome us twice. We will come. We will come.
I hope so.
When I said that Anna is a very good partner, I also mean this, that they are not only a reliable partner, but they work and live in the right place.
Yes.
And all of you are welcome to Zadar. Anna, I feel like I had been there, because these 2 days we planned to stay in Zadar. I mean, yesterday and today, or today and tomorrow, for a transnational meeting. We cannot travel, I mean, physically, but it was very nice to travel to your place virtually. Thank you very much.
Of course, this presentation was just a presentation of like the smallest part of our region. And of course, if you need any more information, just let me know. I will be very happy to answer all of your questions and to send you some more information, to send you some more inputs, whatever you need.
Thank you very much, Anna. At the end of the presentation, you will see the email where you can send your questions or your doubts, and we will forward it to Anna. Thank you. That was Anna from Zadar, from Croatia.
Thank you.
And now let's go to the north, Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Gintare, am I right that Lithuania is the largest of the Baltic countries?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes, that's correct, Elena. It's the biggest of the 3 Baltic states.
Usually when people make an itinerary of their trip to Baltic countries, they choose capitals. Tallinn in Estonia, Riga in Latvia, and Vilnius in Lithuania. But I saw that today you are not going to talk about capitals. You are going to tell us about a very special region, special area, and it is called, is it Šiauliai, or how would you call that?
Well, it's Šiauliai region. I am from Šiauliai region, but in my presentation, I decided to show one place in Šiauliai region and some other places in smaller towns in Lithuania. Yeah, so shall I start maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you read how to say hello, hi in Lithuanian?
Yeah, I wanted to start with this. If you say hello in English, then in Lithuanian language it will be either sveiki or labas. So you can, when you are in Lithuania, you can greet everybody saying labas or sveiki. So my name is Gintare and I am from Lithuania. I am glad to be here and to present our country at least a little bit. At first, maybe I should say that my name, Gintare, is a typical Lithuanian name, which means amber. And amber you can find by the Baltic Sea. And our country is situated by the Baltic Sea. So as Olena told you, Lithuania is to the north from Spain, and it's a small country but very beautiful country with 2.8 million people only. But our country doesn't have huge mountains. It's a flat country, but it's a very beautiful country with its rivers, lakes, and big forests. When I was thinking what to present you, I decided to be very subjective and to present you some places that my family and I like to visit, as well as many other Lithuanian families. I included only one bigger touristic place, that is the Hill of Crosses, which is on the next slide. Yes, thank you. So it is the most famous touristic place in our region, and it has more than 100,000 crosses put there, and the crosses were built there around 200 years ago. People started putting crosses there. Basically, this was done because 200 years ago there was a rebellion against the Tsar. Telling you a little bit about our history, 200 years ago our country was not independent. We were under the rule of Tsar, which is the contemporary Russia, as you call it. So there was a rebellion and some people died, and people decided to put some crosses on this hill Over the years, the Tsar removed the crosses, but they were rebuilt again and again, and now we have more than 100,000 crosses, and they are still being built there from people by people from all over the world. And when you go to this place, it has people have different feelings. Religious people, for example, feel touched. For other people, this place might be scary, but for us, it is a place where we go to wish somebody health, to ask some good things for others, for ourselves. So if you have a chance, just take a look at the link that I included on my presentation. There is a nice video about the Hill of Crosses as seen from above. So very nice video to watch. Yes, another interesting object that I chose to show you is observation towers. I think there are more than 20 of them in all over Lithuania. There are several of them in our region as well. And these observation towers are built in beautiful places by the rivers, by beautiful lakes, for people to enjoy the scenery. So it's possible to climb on the top of these towers and just enjoy the beautiful scenery around. Okay, yeah, thinking about our country, as Olena said, I'm not going to show you our beautiful capital, which is in the UNESCO list as well. I am not going to show you a beautiful coast, because being in Spain, you all have this. You have the beautiful seaside, old towns with rich history. That's why I decided to show you some castles and manors, which are in small Lithuanian towns. Here you can see the first one and then another one. These castles or manors, as we call them, belonged to rich people several hundred years ago, and now in those places we have beautiful hotels, like in this one you can see, or these manors and castles have become cultural places for people to watch some concerts, and they are popular tourist attractions not only for Lithuanians but for foreigners as well. So please come to our country, take a ride in small towns and just enjoy what you see. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I am more than happy to answer them.
Gintare, thank you very much.
Sorry for the disturbances.
That was not just one guest, but two guests from Lithuania, and that was like a family presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then, if you have any questions, you can see our email here, that is info@openeurope.es. You can write to us if you have questions. We will forward them to Victor from the UK, to Anna from Croatia, and to Gintare from Lithuania. I would like to thank you very much, Anna, Victor, and Gintare, for joining us today, for showing a bit more of your countries, and just being so friendly to welcome people to come to your areas.